and we are here today for talking about the basics of SQL. So I will start sharing my screen. One moment. Can you guys see my whole screen?
Yes.
Okay, good. Just one important thing to comment. If you don't understand something I say, if you need me to explain a different way, so please interrupt me, okay, using the audio. I will see if I think it's better to the audio, and Rebecca or Carla can help me if someone write here in the chat. I'm going to minimize here the WebEx. So SQL basics. This lecture is an initiative of the COIL 2.0 among both universities, PUC-Rio and HRW. So let's start. We are going to talk today about databases. So the SQL starts in 1970 and is still going on until today. So it's really like it is one of the most used language for dealing with databases. And but we have a lot of different types of SQL files, SQL databases. The one that we are going to be being presented today is SQLite. Why SQLite is because this is one that is being used the most. uh, the the language is really intuitive. All of them actually deals with SQL, but each one of them has some specific features. But the good thing, although the SQL is not exactly the same among these databases, they are very, very similar. So if you know how to use SQLite, probably you can also use Oracle and MySQL. Some of the commands may be a little bit different, but not too much. And we can also have databases that are NoSQL. They start being using until 2000, starting from 2000 until now. The difference among both of them is because when you are dealing with no SQL, you are dealing with documents with database that they are not structured in tables. So they are not so like always in the same shape, generic, with tables, and each table you have the columns and the rows. So here you can also deal with graphics, with images, and also with text too, not exactly inside the table. So this is more advanced, and we are not going to see that for today. And what is, yeah, what I said, these the databases that are written in SQL, they are actually relational databases. So a relational database is a way of structuring information in tables, rows, and columns, okay? So a relational database can establish links or relationship among information through joining the tables. This will turn easy the comprehension and gain insights about the relationship between various data points. So one useful thing about relational database is because you actually you are allowed to have more than one table. And one example, if you have a database of I think let me check, my university, PUC-Rio. Okay, so I have the SQL database of PUC-Rio, and this database has different tables. Each table belongs to a specific department of my university. But I can relate each department, for example, by the professors, because there is a possibility that the same professor will be working in two or more departments. And then using relational database, you can actually establish this link. So I can, for example, has a specific table of with just the name of all the professors from the university, and then I can relate these professors to the departments that they actually work. So I can have, for example, the case where one professor only works in a unique department, but I also can have the relationship there. One professor can work in more than one department. And actually, I can also establish the link of one department having a lot of professors, right? Because the department usually is composed by 15 professors in the average. So I, for sure, I will establish 15 links of one department with the professors. So when we are dealing with relational database, uh, is an easier way to get a better comprehension about the relationships among the data. So SQLite is a database. All these tables that I'm giving the example, all the tables that belong to the database of the university, they are stored in a unique single file. And here is the link from SQLite. So I'm just going to divide here the screen. So for example, this is the website of SQLite. And what is exactly SQLite? So SQLite or SQLite is a C language library that implements a small, fast, self-containing, high reliability, full-feature SQL database engine. SQLite is the most used database engine in the world. SQLite is built into all mobile phones and most computers and comes bundled inside countless other applications that people use every day. So this is one of the reasons why we select SQLite for you guys to learn today, okay? And I think the better way of actually having a good insight, a good comprehension of how to deal with SQLite is through practice. So we are going to deal here with a real case study. This database is stored into Kaggle. I don't know if you guys have already experience using Kaggle. So I'm going just to click here in the link. Just a brief explanation about this website. So Kaggle is a really like a famous website in the data science world. If you have never been here, I strongly advise you to make an account. And Kaggle became really famous actually through the main reason is because it has some competitions. So I'm going to open here. These competitions actually are problems that companies and universities they have in their routine, and they put the problem here. They turn this problem available to the society, and some of them also has a rewarding money. So if you can see here, there is some competitions ongoing. So, but I know, yeah, these are the active competitions actually, and you can see here the reward is in American dollar. Actually, it's a lot of money, but to win this is really hard. So the majority of the competitions are related to artificial intelligence and exploratory data analysis. And you can participate by an individual or with some colleagues of you. You can actually compose a whole team. And it's really nice for not only for actually having the experience of winning money, but also to earn knowledge because the answer of all the other teams they become available, so you can actually check the solutions that was found by other teams. And also you have some competitions that they don't have any reward in money, but it's just for knowledge purpose. And here you can also open here the competitions that are already closed, but all of them you can still try to put your solution, and they will actually uh, score your solution even if the competition is closed. So this is really good for you to get an experience in the data science world. I actually recommend you a lot to take a look at here. Also, Kaggle has really like data sets that are available. So you can see here the themes. So a lot of subjects, arts and entertainment, biology, social science. So here's is an example for Australian population data by region. So if you click here, you are going to see the description about the data set, the source, and also you can take a look at the solution the other users they turn available here. So this is a way of you to learning more about. Usually the main language here is Python. Okay, so some of the solutions people actually write comments, and then you can actually follow the whole development of the person. The other good feature that Kaggle has is a Learn tab. Okay, so here you have free courses for programming, Python, machine learning, data visualization, also SQL, Introduction to SQL, Advanced SQL, and these actually courses are really nice. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about the data set that we're going to deal today. So some of you I know already installed the dbeaver. So if you actually want to follow and to reproduce the steps I'm going to use here, so please first make an account in Kaggle, because then you won't be able to download the database. Then you can search for this name, European Soccer Database, and you're going to find the solution. I'm also can turn that available in the chat for you. Just a moment.
It's
Oh yeah,
um,
Carla. Oh, sorry, Carla. Now I saw that you already turned
it's
available.
okay.
Thank
I
you.
think you give the proper link right now. I forgot it.
Uh-huh. Oh, okay. So so please, guys, download that for you and save it. If you're using Linux or Mac, maybe you won't be able to reproduce because the Beaver only works in Windows. So if you have the two systems, so please save the file in Windows, okay? So I'm not going to download it. I already have that in my folder here. So let's just talk about this database. Oh, so it's the ultimate soccer database for data analysis and machine learning. What you get, so we have here the record of more than 2,000 and 25,000 of matches, information about more than 10,000 of players. So 11 European country with their league championship. The database is related to the years 2008 and 2016. uh, yeah, so here you also can take a look later on about some of the solutions, some of the data exploratory analysis that the users from Kaggle did. So when you download the database, you are going to see that the file, just a moment, file that you download will have a different name, not soccer, I just renamed the file, but the extension will be SQLite, okay? So what are we going to do now? We are going to use for the first time the dbeaver. If you have Windows, I strongly recommend you choose dbeaver. It's free and it's really intuitive and works really well. Okay, so I'm opening here the dbeaver. So We are not going to use that. We're going to use the Soccer SQLite that from Google. So for the database available here in the Beaver, what you need to do, you need to make a new connection. So I click here in this icon, just in this arrow going down, so a new database connection. And as you can see, the dbeaver not only works to deal with SQLite files, but works with a lot of different types of SQL files here that you can see, MySQL, Oracle, PostgreSQL, SQL Server. So this is pretty like good. And our file is SQLite, so we're going to click in the first option. So I have here this window, which is asking here, is doing the procedure to connect to a new database. So the only thing I need
Excuse
to
me.
do here,
Excuse me.
yeah, Rogério.
I forgot. I couldn't understand the point before this
Okay,
step you give. Can you start again, please?
so yeah, for sure. Did you download the database?
Yes, I download the software, the Beaver.
The Beaver. So first, before doing anything else, you need to come to Kaggle and download the SQLite.
Ah, okay, okay. Sorry, I did not do this step.
No,
Sorry.
don't need to
Okay,
sorry. We have a lot of time. So
okay.
I'm just going
Yes.
to reproduce here the steps. So I'm going to sign in. Yeah, if you have a Google account, you can use that. It's going to be faster. So now that I'm connected, you are going to see here your name in the top right. And then you can just download. When you download, you're going to download the compress zipped folder. I'm going to put here in my download. So let me check. Yeah, so is this file here? So I need to extract all in the same file. And now you have this file here, database SQLite. So I just recommend you to rename it for soccer. And then you can transfer this file to any folder here that you like. In my case, I just created here a folder in COIL 2 as SQL lecture soccer SQLite. Tell me, Rogério, when you are done in this step.
Yes, I'm having problem logging into Kaggle, so go ahead.
What I can do, let me check if I can. I'm not sure if I can send a file here in the WebEx. No. Let me do something just to turn easier for you guys. I'm just going to put that file into Google Drive and then I share the link for
But
those who are.
I think, do anybody else has the same problem like Rogério? Did you download the file, or did you have problems with that?
Yeah, I'm just going to
Okay.
to turn available. Carla here is let me. Is uploading. Yeah. So anyone that wants to download the file not using Kaggle, just go to this link. So everybody download it.
Not yet. It's downloading now.
Okay. Just confirm to me, Rogério, please, when it's done.
Okay.
The other students are
Okay,
so
it's done.
quiet. Okay, so now that's done, now that you already downloaded, what you need to do, you need to open the Beaver, and then you come here in the top left part here of the Beaver screen, and then you click here to, if I put my mouse, I will see new database connection. You need to create a new connection.
Yes, new
So I click
connection.
and I select SQLite.
Okay.
And then you will see this window here, connect to a database. So
Yes, I think
everybody,
I'm seeing this.
you didn't find Rogerio? It's here. Let
Yeah,
me
it's a
show
little
you.
different. I think I should have downloaded it in English, not in Portuguese. Okay.
Okay, you need to choose for conectar com a nova base de dados. Try to look file. It's just below arquivo file.
Yes, yes.
SQLite.
I opened this menu you are displaying on the left. The
Uh-huh.
problem is that then I clicked on SQLite, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Then I have two options, which is the main and then the driver
Yeah,
properties.
main.
Main. Okay.
Keep in main. And
Okay.
here you need to put the path of the file when you where you download the soccer SQLite. So open it. And in my case, I'm going to
Okay, I
the
did it.
directory where I save it, and I'm going to select soccer SQLite and finish just like that. And when I close it, after clicking on finish, I'm going to visualize here in the database navigator, soccer SQLite.
Yes, I see it.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
you're welcome. So when I just press here in the arrow, I can see that I have a lot of options related to this database. I have tables, views, index, sequence, table triggers, and data types. If I come to tables and I open it, I can see that this database has a lot of tables. And if I open here, for example, the first table, I click there, I have different features related to this unique table country. So when I open here in the option keys, I can see this keyword country P key. This P key is related to primary key. So every time you're dealing with SQL, you guys are going to read this keyword a lot, primary key. So all the tables from this any SQL, not only SQLite, will have primary key. So the primary key will be related to the column of each table. And this column will actually save the number which we are referenced here as the index of each row of the table. So here, for example, when I open here the column country, the columns of country, I can see the country has two columns, ID and name. If I double click here in the ID, oh no, I don't want to double click. I'm going to double click in country. I can, it's going to open here a tab, and I wanna check here in data, okay? So this is my column country. I can see that I have two columns, ID and name. So the column ID is the primary key of country. Why? Because this primary key here is going to be different. I cannot have the same primary key for in the same table. and each row is going to have a unique reference number, unique index. Okay, so these all the columns from all the tables will have uh, a unique primary key, which is usually is the column ID. So this is what I want to show you now about the beaver. Let's come back here to the PDF. So this is just talking more about the Beaver, why we're using the Beaver, because a universal database client is really intuitive to use. So the first time might be like really different from the other softwares that you already use, but after you use it in a couple of days, you are going to think that it's really like a nice and easy software to deal with. Other nice feature that we can use when we are dealing with SQLite databases is to use actually entity relationship diagram. So I'm not sure if you guys already have seen some of these diagrams, but actually what they do is actually they illustrate the whole database that you are dealing with. So this is good. But one thing that is important to say is because the ERD diagram is something that you're going to build, okay, and is independent from the database. So any change I'm going to do in the ERD diagram is not going to be seen in the actually original database. So the ERD diagram is just a tool to facilitate your comprehension about the database. So I advise you every time you're dealing with SQL, you're dealing with database, I advise you to construct an ERD diagram. There are a lot of ways of you to construct this type of diagram. You can even use the PowerPoint from Microsoft. You can use a lot of softwares that actually build flowcharts. Some of them you have to pay. So I found this one Lucid chart. It looks like really interesting. So let's do a test here. I don't advise you to pay for a license for building ERD diagram because we have so many tools that are actually free. So I'm going to log in here. Also, you can actually log in with Google. So I was just testing before giving the lecture to you. So I have here a draft. I'm going to use that. So I'm going to generate this one here. So as you can see, let me see if I can put the zoom. Yeah. So let me show you here. One moment. So in this diagram, actually something that you have to build table by table, okay? So the main goal here is for you actually to construct an ERD diagram to help your comprehension about the whole database. So you are not actually forced to uh, reproduce all the tables exactly how they are. And why I'm saying this because maybe some of the tables that you have in your database will have, for example, 100 columns. So actually, you don't need to write all the 100 columns here in the ERD diagram. So this is just a tool, an alternative way to help you to comprehend your database and then to actually develop some strategies, some insights, actually what you want to discover in your database, how the tables are connected. When you just visualize all the connections of the link that the database has, then you're going to be able to actually develop the right questions for you to make and to find faster the solution of the problem. Okay, so if I can see here again, let's just focus now in the beaver here in the tab. Let me just do this. So I can see that my database has the table country, the table league, match player, player attributes, team, and team attributes. So here is just the table country. So if I open here the columns of country, I can see that I have two columns. So I'm just going to put here the name as text, not char. Oh no, this is, sorry. Then put like this. And let's take a look now in the table league. For example, in the table league, I have here 3 columns. So let's just build the columns. I'm just going to. So I'm putting here league. So league will have the column ID, which also stores integer. We have the name, text, and then I want to include one more line. So this is in Portuguese, but it's saying here that I can insert an arrow on row below this selected row. So I'm going to select this, and then I want to put the name of this other column, so country ID, and country ID also stores an integer. Okay, so one thing that actually calls my attention is because I have here the table league, and one of the columns of the table league has the name country ID. So this actually is making an insight here in my head that maybe this column is related to the table country. So how can I check that? I can check these, opening here the foreign keys from the table league. And then I actually can see that the table league has a foreign key. What is a foreign key? A foreign key is a column, is the name of the column that actually is associated with other table. So the foreign key is actually the key that is going to allow the connection among 2 tables, okay? So as if I double click here in the F key legal country, I can see that the foreign key from my table league is country ID. So I was right in my supposition. And how I make the connection. So if I pass here my mouse on the country, and I can see that actually when I pass here the mouse in one of the dots here, right on the circles, they become red. So I want to connect the ID column from country to the column country ID that belongs to league. So I make a connection like this. Okay, so now I can visualize just at a glance here in my screen that I know that the country ID is a foreign key that is making the connection with country through the column ID. And I also have an overview of all the columns that belong to each one of the tables.
Amanda, excuse me.
Yeah.
I think David has some question to do.
Yeah.
David, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. It's just a quick question. So any changes I do in columns there are related to another column, so related to another table, sorry. Like this one, if I make a change in the database of country ID, it's gonna change every other table that's interconnected with this one, or it's
Uh,
only it?
yeah, that is a good question, actually,
It's,
David.
but
Yeah, Carla, you want to say
yeah,
something?
for example, if you put as a first key for the land, let's say the name, you can relate it always to this. Let's say it's not it. You will how can I say hurt the integrity of your data. So you cannot allow it to change it. Once you establish a primary key, it's like that. Like you, David, you were born, yes. So you have a name, you have your weight that you have as a baby, your length, and so on, and you have an ID. Later on, you have your ID, né, carteira de identificação. Nobody will have a same ID like yours, because it will hurt the integrity of your data. So it's the same. Once primary key, it will be always like that. And you can relate it, of course, other tables or the rows and lines with this primary key. But this primary key is not be changed. I don't know. I don't know if it was your question.
I think it kind of, Carla. Thank you for answer, but I just want to complement. For example, David, I have here the column leak, and imagine I make a change in the country ID. If I make a change in the country ID column, this change won't actually be seen in the column ID from country. I can just change the country ID column. But when I do this, uh, and if I want to make a join among these tables after this change, if I change for example, for a number that actually doesn't have a correspondence in the ID column from country, uh, this row that I just changed it actually won't be considered when I'm joining both tables. Okay, so I have just to be really careful when I'm actually making permanent changes in the tables of my database, because I can actually destroy some relationship, especially if I'm changing a foreign key. Okay.
Actually, you can, but we are going to make some anomalies that we call the delete anomalies, the join anomalies, and so on, because the right word is destroyed. You're going to destroy something, then you cannot join again. A transaction it will not be possible.
Yeah, it's exactly that. David, did we answer your question?
Yes.
Okay. So,
Can I ask a similar question?
Yeah, Rogério.
Yes, related to what he asked. That's the reason why we use triggers, right? In SQL, there is a. Do you know what I say? Do you know what I mean? There is a method.
Actually, I cannot answer you that right now because I'm not so familiar with the triggers. I'm not sure if Carla have already used them.
No.
But Rogério, I can take a look at that, and I can answer you later on.
Yeah.
Okay.
No problem. Thank you.
So this, guys, is a way of you just can build ERD diagram. Okay, so I advise you to always build one. So if you, let's just take a look here at other columns. So we have here other table actually match. So as you can see here in match, you have a lot of columns. So this is one case, one example that I'm not going to write all the columns here in the ERD diagram. So I can, for example, select just some columns to represent this table. So let's just do this for one more column. So this is the column match. So match also has an ID column, which is the primary key, has also the foreign key country ID, and it has other foreign key, which is the leak ID, and leak ID is also storing integer. So country ID here is also related to the table match, and also leak ID now is the foreign key from column ID from leak. So this is how these three tables are related in my database. So as you can see, it's not hard to build this ERD diagram, but it provides you so much useful information about having a full view about how the tables from your database are actually organized, how they are related among each other. So this is a really nice tool for you guys to use, okay? So let's just come back here to the slides. So now we are going to actually start making some queries using our database. So in the Beaver, now how we make queries here. Let's come back to the Beaver for a moment. So I click here in the name of the database I wanna use. And then when I right click here in the name of my database, I can, in the first option, SQL editor, I can open a SQL script that maybe I already have, or I can just create a new one. So this is the third option. So new SQL script. So how SQL works? So for those who already program, actually SQL is not going to be the same. You're not going to write a full code here and then run, okay? So we are just going to write short comments. So these comments we are going to call queries. So we are going to write for example, I'm going to write just one query to actually make uh, to extract some information from my database. And if I want to extract a new information, then I erase this query and I write a new one. So, for example, I'm not going, it's not a practice for us just to write all the queries here in this script and I'm going to save it for later on. So, the SQL is just a way for you to extracting useful information, and then when you have the answer, and then okay, I store this answer in another place, and then I just erase and make a new query. Okay, so let's make a first SQL query here. I want to visualize the whole table country. So how I do that, I write the keyword select. So in SQLite, there is no difference amongst uppercase letter and lowercase letter, but it's a good practice for you to write in uppercase letters all the commands from making queries, okay? So for example, select all the keywords from the SQL. So select and from, I'm going to write in uppercase letter. And the name of the table in the first letter, I'm going to write with the first letter as uppercase. So this is just on a device, okay? So you are allowed to just write everything in lowercase. So it's going to make the same effect. So select. When I use here the star, I'm asking, I want to see all the columns. I'm not specifying one or a list of columns I want to see. I want to see everything that belongs to the column, to the table country. So select star from country. So a good thing about the Beaver is because actually it helps you while you are constructing your query. Okay, so it's just saying, okay, I just wrote the first 4 letters, and then it tries to complete me for me. So I wrote this. How I run this, I just press here execute SQL query, and then I execute it. Sometimes, okay, I want to show you other strategy here. I can just press Control and Enter. Is also going to run, but sometimes your query will have more than 1 line. So maybe if I put here I have my cursor of my mouse here in the second line, so maybe it won't interpret all of these to belong to the same query. So just to make sure that I'm just running the whole query, I can just highlight. Okay, so I highlight everything, and then I press Ctrl and Enter, so it's going to run. And yeah, Carla.
Just a short question.
Yeah.
When I go, for example, so you are at the soccer school, right? Because my table doesn't appear with the names, or did you have done it? Because I was answering questions.
If you can you see in your file the option tables below
Yes,
soccer? So do you have this option here to expand the tables?
Just a moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I see player attributions. Just a moment. You are.
Oh yeah, if you are seeing player attributes,
okay.
This is the name of one of the tables. So
yeah, which one did you pick right now?
Country.
Country.
Can you see country in your in your screen?
But I see the ID keys. Yeah, I see country. Then I say name and description, but I don't see ID and name. After country, what did you?
Yeah, but you have to expand the option columns.
Okay.
Just below country. So I'm just going to show this again. Okay, so everybody just pay attention here in my mouse. Let me show you. Here in my mouse, I can see I have a lot of databases. Okay, so I'm going to select only the soccer SQLite. So I have the option here to expand it. When I expand this database, I can have the options tables, view, indexes, sequence, table triggers, and data types. What I'm going to do, I'm going to expand the first option, tables. And then I can visualize all the tables, all the name of the tables that belongs to soccer SQLite. Okay. So, for example, if I want to understand a little bit more about the table country, I just click my mouse here on country. Also, it's highlighted in blue color, in blue shadow color, and I can expand country table. All the tables will have the same option. Every time I expand the name of the table, I can visualize columns, key, foreign keys, indexes, reference, and triggers. Okay. So if I want to see, okay, I want to check all the columns that the table country have. So I can expand the option columns. So when I expand columns, then I can see the name of all the columns that belong to the table country. So I can see here ID and name, and also I have the information inside the parentheses about the data type, integer that is being stored in the column ID, and text type that is being stored in the column name. So everybody can visualize that in your own dbeaver?
Yes.
Okay. So Carla, did you find?
Yeah, I visualized that. What I would like to visualize is the complete table, because the table
here
is empty. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So what you want to see is this second part here in this other screen, right?
Yes, Belgium, England, or did you have done
no.
something else there?
So, okay, we have, as you can see, now I have nothing here in my right side. So what I'm going to do now, I have here my soccer SQLite database. So I'm going to right click on my mouse and I wanted to open a new SQL editor. So I'm going to this option here, new SQL script.
Yes.
Okay, so when I click here, I can see this white window here. So now, if I want to visualize the whole table country, then I have to write the query select star from country, and then I run this query. I have two options to run there. I can just press Control and Enter in my keyboard, and then I will see that this output is going to appear in my screen. The other option is to right click here and execute SQL query. Did it work, Carla?
Just a moment.
Yeah.
I think so. Yes, yes. Sorry, I didn't perceive that you are doing this asking something to the database.
Yeah, I'm running the query, our first query here.
Okay.
No, yeah, but these lectures just for that, just for to start exploring
no,
here
but
the Beaver.
It's unknown steps. Let's go ahead.
No, yeah. Okay, so as we can see here, we have, for example, in the country, we have like 11 records. We can see here our primary key ID, and we can see that in the column name, we have the name of the countries. Okay, so let's just take a look here in the slide again. So now we are going to start making some questions that we want to answer. So we thrive ID, season, stage, and date of all matches. So the information about the matches are stored into not in the table country, right? Because in country I cannot see anything related to matches. So as my first guess, this information probably stored in my match table, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to expand here my match table and I can identify the columns that is being asked here. So ID, season, stage, and date. So different from the first query that we just ran, this time I don't want to see all the columns. I just want to see specific columns. So how can I do that? So first, let's start with what is more simple, okay? More simple is, okay, I want to see the match. One problem here is because when I write match, you can see that in the Beaver, it identifies as a special keyword that maybe is a SQL command. So I don't want that. So if I'm going just to write again, so as you can see, the Beaver is giving me on the device, is saying to me, okay, just write match inside double quotes, because in this way, I guarantee the match is going to be interpreted as a string, as the name of a column. Okay, so I advise you guys just to do the same. Not write match without the quotes. So let's just run. So I just run here and I can see the whole match table with a lot of columns. I don't want that. I want specific columns. So how I do that? I just need to, instead of the star, I can write the name of the columns. So ID, season, stage, and date. Date is exactly the same case of match. See, date actually is highlighted with more like a bold letter. So I don't want that. So I'm just going to put the double quotes. So when I run this query, now I can only visualize only these 4 columns here. See? Sometimes we are not going to deal with just one table at a time. We can actually make queries using 2, 3, 4, or the whole tables that belong to the data set, all the tables. And maybe there is the possibility of we have the same name of column in more than one table. So this will make a mess when we are going to run the query, right? Because how the Beaver is going to identify from where this column belongs, from which table this column belongs, if the tables have the same name of the columns. So to avoid this mess, one advice here is always to refer, for example, to the table when we are referring here to a specific column. So there is no need to do that in this query because there is no way of making a misunderstanding here because we're just dealing with a unique table. But in the case when we have more than one table. So for example, I can use an alias here. So I can say, okay, let's consider match as M. So when I run that, I'm going to see to have the same output. So instead of just writing ID, season, stage, and date, I can just say MID, M season, M stage, whoops, and M date. So when I run, I'm going to see the same output as expected. But in this way, I guarantee that I'm referring to the right column that belongs to the right table, okay? So you can adopt these alias here even when you are consulting just a unique table, but it's actually not necessary. But this is important for you guys to know. Any questions about the second query? No? So let's come back here to the question. So as you can see in the slide, I didn't use an alias here, right? So you can adopt an alias. I think it's easier because just write M instead of the whole word match. But you can also have the option of referring here to the full name of the table. That's also possible. So as you can see, to actually start writing queries using SQL is actually not hard to understand the queries. Okay, so it's really actually intuitive. So what you guys need to learn is the keywords from the SQL commands. Okay, so I need to know that if I want to visualize a column, I need to use select, and I need to reference select column from where. So I need to also use the keyword from. This is an example. Okay, so let's continue. Here in the slide is just giving the example for using the alias here. So here I adopt a different alias than M. I just write matches. In this case, it's not with the double quotes, and that's okay. So now is a different query for us to do it. Right retrieve matches which happen in France. So now is a problem here, right? Because when I see here match, at least any one of these columns has the reference of France, right? So how am I going to find how I can relate here France using the match, only the match table? So let's just consult again, make another query, just observing country. Let's come back here to our table country. Select everything from country. So as you can see here, now I have two different queries, but I just want to run this second query. So how I do that in the Beaver? So I'm going just to highlight the query I want to run. So I highlight, select everything from country, and then I press Ctrl Enter. And now I can see the output that I'm interested in. So without making any reference about the foreign key right now, I just want to see here what is the ID from France. Okay, France has an ID. There is 4,769. Okay, 4769. So when I just run here the other query, no, this one here in the, let's just, one moment. I just minimize it without wanting it to do it. So let me just come back here in the tables match columns. So I have here the foreign key country ID in match, okay? So the question is, retrieve matches which happen in France. So I just want to just let me do something. M country ID. So as I can see here, I have actually many countries, actually the same country that actually participate in more than one match. For example, country ID 1, which belongs to which country? Let's take a look. Which belongs to Belgium, participated from a lot of matches. So what I need to do here, I need to look for the country ID 4,769. So I cannot do that manually. So I have to make a filter, okay? And how I make filter in SQL? One way of doing that is using the keyword where. So the question is retrieve matches, but it's not saying which columns. It's just making a reference that I want to see all the information from the matches. So because of that, I need to put here a star. So select star everything from match as M, where M dot country ID equals to 4,769. So the output here that I'm seeing, I'm receiving here the output a lot of columns, right? Because I just said I want to see all the columns from match that are related to the country France. So I can see here in the country ID that I can only visualize the number 4,769 that belongs to France. So any doubts? No? So okay, so yeah.
How could we sum everything, like sum all the matches to get
because
a
you want to actually, for example, You want to count how many matches friends
Yes.
participate. Okay,
Yeah.
one way you can do the count. You can
Okay.
count all the occurrences.
Okay. Thank you.
So you're welcome. This is a good question. So I can say that friends participated from 3,040 matches. So you can see here that we have the freedom of making some math calculus here when we are running a query. So this is really nice, okay? So count is this keyword for counting all the occurrences. So since this query has 2 lines, I also highlight to run, but I'm not sure if this is necessary. Okay, this is not 100% necessary, but I advise you to always highlight just to be sure that your query is going to be interpreted in the full query is going to be considered, okay? Because sometimes we are going to see that we can have like 10 lines of queries, 10 rows. So other questions here, other questions. So we try matches which happen in England or Belgium. So in this case, we are also going to make a filter in the table, but this time I want to consider 2 options, 2 cases. I wanted to see all the occurrences that belong to England and also all the occurrences that belong to Belgium. So how I do that? I can also consider the same solution strategy here. So I'm going to run again our initial query to identify the ID that belongs to Belgium and the ID that belongs to England. So here I can see that Belgium has the ID 1 and England has the ID 1729. So in this case, I'm just going to consider here 1. In this case here, I'm just going to see all the matches that belong to Belgium, but this is half of the solution. I need to also consider the cases that belong to England. In this case, I can use the keyword or. If it's and, will be and, okay? So or, and then I have to write again, country ID equal to 1729. So I can see here that because it has a limited number of rows that you're going to see. So in this case here, I'm just visualizing country ID equal to 1. But when it ended, see, now I can see now the cases that belong to England. And now we just saying to us, we try players named John. If I just take a look here in match, I'm not seeing any reference about the name of the player. So probably match is not the table that we are going to use to answer this question here. We
Can I
have
ask a question?
Yeah, Rogério?
Excuse me, can I ask a question? Why,
Yeah.
not specifically why, but you could, you put the ID of the country on the filter, right?
Yeah.
Yes, but you
The
could
number,
also,
right?
yes, the number, but you could also, because I did a little different here, you could also put like this, so that you put the name of the country directly, right?
Yeah, this is an option, but for you to consider the name, you have to join tables, right?
Okay.
And I just don't want to present this now.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Actually,
I'm sorry.
okay.
Okay.
No, that's no problem at all. Actually, it's good that you noticed that. But I'm just trying to how we run the query, just consider a unique table for now.
Yes,
But
okay, okay.
exactly what Rogério asked here is why I need to identify manually the number if I have the foreign key. So one other option, which is the more efficient one, I should make this query considering both tables, country and match, and then I can join them by the column country ID. And then I don't need to write here the number manually. I can just write the name. But in this case, we are going to see that, but not at this time.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So now we are going to consult here the table player. So first of all, let's just observe the table player. So select everything from player. So as I can see here in the output, I have a column player name. And I have other informations, characteristics that belong to each player. So it's just saying, okay, retrieve player's name, John. So I also, to answer this, I will also, I will also have to make a filter. But this is a filter related to the name. So let's start doing that. So where, let me put here player. I'm going to use here the column player name, like John. I'm just going to run to check if this is right. Yeah, but now I'm going to explain. What I'm doing here, I'm just saying, okay, I want to make a filter related to the column player name. But how I want the names to be structured, right? So I have to use this keyword like. And then I put everything as a string, as a text inside double quotes or inside simple quotes. And then I write, okay, I want all the names to start at John, space, and then I can have anything. For this reason, I write the percentage. Anything after the space that comes after the name John. So for this reason, I can see here that some of the players, they have two surnames, other ones just have a unique surname, because it doesn't matter for me what comes after the white space that comes after the name John. Okay?
What symbol
Amanda, could you
use?
repeat what kind of symbol is that? Because the students didn't.
Sorry,
see.
it's the percentage.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Let me see if I can increase this. Just a moment. I know that
it's okay. Everybody understood.
it's okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It's all right.
So
Amanda,
yeah.
is that the reason why we don't use the equal signs here? Because we have like more than one John?
Every time that we are not going to use equal here, in this case, we are going to use like, because I'm not looking for exact matches. I'm just actually comparing strings, the text, and I'm just referring to how the elements should be written. Okay, so usually when you use the equal sign is when you are looking for numbers, numerical characters. In this case, I'm just saying, okay, I want the elements from player name to be structured in a text way, like this. I want to have the John first, space, and then I can have any other sentence after.
You know, everything that is related with the name John will be listed.
Yeah, for this reason, since it's not a numerical character here, I'm not comparing numbers. then I have to use this keyword like, not the equal sign. Okay. A good strategy here. In this case, it works. It's not actually necessary always, but sometimes, just to avoid any error. Okay. I want to consider all the cases, so I don't want the SQL when to be run. I don't want to, maybe it can consider, for example, just the first case in upper letter and then the rest in lowercase letter. So when I just, to guarantee that all the letters are going to be in uppercase, I can just surround the name of the column in upper, because I'm just comparing here with all the letters in uppercase. So this is just a protection from error, okay? So when I run, I'm going to have the same output. So any other doubts related to this query?
Yes, I have one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, she asked it first. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Rogério. If you want to go, no problem for me.
Go
No,
ahead,
Agatha.
Lydia.
Yeah, go ahead. Lydia,
Go ahead.
sorry.
Go ahead.
No, it's Agatha.
Okay.
Agatha,
Yeah. So
Amanda, I didn't understand why you put the percentage symbol after John. I didn't understand.
the percentage. Okay.
Yes.
I'm going just to show you something. So if I don't put anything, I'm going to receive nothing. Why? Because I don't have any name here that only has written John. So let's just check if I have any output like this. Also, I don't have any output that is John and something. So when I put the percentage is saying any sentence, any text here. So I'm just saying, okay, when I run this, I consider any text after the white space. This is what it means.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. I can also look, for example, okay, if I don't have the first name John, maybe sometime this happen. If John is the second name, I can do something like that. Let's check if this exists. Yeah, see? So now, John, I'm just seeing the occurrences of John as a second name when I put
Okay, I
the
got it.
percentage before, okay?
Okay, thank
So,
you.
Rogério?
Just a quick question. I didn't get very well. This player name, you put the player dot previously to make sure you are referring to the table player or not?
Yeah, this is not
Okay.
necessary, okay? Because it's just a unique
For
table, but I'm
example,
doing, sorry.
Amanda, just to complementary the explanation that you give, if you guys put before the percentage symbol the yacht, J, no? So we are going to see everyone that has a surname with J and afterwards John, for example. You know, Amanda, what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's very specific. Because Agatha asked, no?
Mm-hmm.
Or the letter A. So we are going to see if everyone has a letter A, like N, like another name, Arnold, and then John afterwards. So this symbol of percentage is very specific for that.
Yeah.
What did the upper do in this query?
Okay, the upper here is just something for precaution, okay? Because sometimes when I'm making a consulting here using the filter, because as I can see here in the player name, the names, not all the letters are in uppercase, just the first one. So I'm just avoiding the error of when I make the filter, SQL will interpret John with just the first letter is uppercase. And then I won't have any correspondence because I'm comparing here with all the letters in uppercase. So this is just a precaution, okay? If I just remove that, it will work. But as a programmer, I have to think about all the cases that can happen wrong. So in this case, I'm just using the uppercase because I'm guaranteeing that all the player names here, all the letters are going to be in uppercase letter, just like that.
But
Okay.
Amanda, just one question, perhaps to clarify further question for the students. If you don't put upper, and in this list there are names with J small, it will appear if you search, if you make a query.
Yeah. In this case, using SQLite, I don't think so. I think will work. Okay, because uppercase and lowercase actually doesn't have a difference in SQLite, but in other SQL file extension will make a difference. So I'm just actually this is not necessary, but I'm just showing you guys that this is a good practice just to guarantee that if I have the name of the players in lowercase, I'm transforming them all the letters in uppercase when I consider this function. Okay, because when I'm making a comparison, I'm writing here everything in uppercase. So in this case, I avoid any wrong interpretation here. It's just a precaution action. Okay. So guys, let's answer other query here. So how many players are taller than 2 meters? So in this case here, I have here the column height in the player, in the
just
player
a moment,
table.
Amanda. Louise has a question
Yeah.
in the comments. Louisa, could you say something? Then you can clarify your question. It's better now than to go ahead.
Yeah, for some reason, whenever I select player, it automatically puts like a P after the player, and then the code doesn't work anymore. So I was wondering why
Yeah,
it's
it
not
can
happening.
be. It happened with me too, but I just deleted the P and it works.
Okay.
Have you tried it?
Yeah,
I didn't understand. You put like this, a P to player, just like this?
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
just appeared by her, you know?
Yeah, and then
Like
it doesn't work
this?
anymore.
It is
Let
suggested
me
by
see
the
my cube.
viewer. It's also happening to me, but I dropped
delete.
speed.
Okay.
What you can do,
Yeah.
you can just make sure that this P is going to be interpreted as an alias from player. So try to add this S and see if it works.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I could just also just delete it. Thank you.
Yeah, but it should work, you know. So maybe add this an S, maybe to work. If not, just delete it. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. So let's answer this. How many players are taller than 2 meters? So in this case, we are referring here to the column height. So let's just make the filter use the column height, and then we answer the how many occurrences. So I also have to make a filter here. So in this case, I'm going to make a filter in the column height, but I'm not going to use equal sign anymore. I'm going to use greater or equal. Then 2 meters will be 200 here, right? Because it's in centimeter. So when I run this query, I'm seeing all the cases of players that has there actually this conditional is true, but I don't want to see all these occurrences. I want to count how many occurrences. So in this case, I have to use the word count. So count how many lines that this output has. 22 cases. So 22 players have a height equal or taller than 2 meters. So who are the 10 heaviest players. So if I just erase here the count, let me just run this query again. I have here the column weight, and I want to see only the occurrences of the 10 heaviest player. So in this case, as I can see here, there is no order here in the column weight. So I need to sort this column in actually
Amanda, how
descending
many
order.
did you find out? Sorry, how many players? 22.
22.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted to.
Okay. So what I need to do now, I need to order the column. So I'm not going to do the filter anymore. So in this case, I need to use other keyword, which is order by. So order by is going to sort the column in the default way, is going to sort in ascending order. In this case, I want to see the 10 heaviest players. So I want to order the table according to the column weight in descending order. Okay, so I'm going to put here P weight descending order. When I run this, if I observe here the output, right, I can see that I have here the first row has the highest number comparing to the others, right? But I can see that I have actually 200 rows, and I don't want to see all these rows. I just want to see the 10 first. So I have to use other keyword that limit the output. So limit 10. So now, as you can see here, I can only see the information related to the 10 heaviest players. Okay. So I'm going to continue here. How many matches were played on a per country basis? I wanna actually what I'm asking here, I wanna see all the occurrences of matches according to the country. So now I come back here to the table match, right? So remember here the match, I'm going to use double quote. Let's use an alias here. I'm going to use M. So I'm going to just to print everything. What I want to see, so as I can observe here, for example, in country ID, I can see that the same number is repeated a lot of times, right? So I want to count how many times I can see here the number 1, and then the next number, and the next, and the next. So how I can do that, I actually can, to count the occurrences, I already know that I have to use count, right? And so just to facilitate, oops, I'm going just to start using the count. I also want to see not only the count, but I want to see the country ID from matches. But I need to do one thing more. I need to actually to group all the numbers here from country ID. So how I do that, I use the group by keyword. So group by M country ID. So see my output. So I can see here for each country ID, I can see all the matches that were played according to each country. I'm still not seeing the name of the countries, but what I'm seeing here is the ID of each country. So now we have seen here a new keyword, group by. One thing I can also run like this. Any doubts? Other question. What if you want to sort those results? Because as I can see here, the number of occurrences are actually, they do not have any specific order. Okay, so if I want to start here with the occurrences of the highest number, okay, so we already know that to do that we can use order by. So I want to order by which column? I want to order by the count, right? So let me see if this will work. Order by count. Yeah, this is in ascending order, but I want actually in descending order. But I'm still not satisfying because what I'm seeing here as a header is count. I don't like that. So I can actually also consider an alias to the output. So in this case, I can put an alias here as match count, for example. So this alias refers to the count. So when I do the order by, instead of putting the count, I can use match count. So see, now I'm more satisfied with the output. Oops. So everybody understood? So I will keep going, okay?
Sorry, can I ask one question?
Yeah, sure.
What exactly does the star stand for? So what would it mean?
The
as a
star
model?
stands for everything.
Oh,
So, okay, so here what I'm saying exactly is to count how many lines, how many rows.
Of all of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can also, for example, I can specify here the name of a column. So, for example, I can also put country ID because I want to count how many rows is being shown to me of country ID in this case, but I will have the same output. So in this case, I prefer just to put the star because I wanted to count all the rows.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, it represents 0 or every another or more characters, you know.
So next query. How many matches were played on a per country basis, ignoring countries with less than 3,000 matches? So in this case, I want to make a filter after doing the group by. So because of this order of actions, I cannot use where anymore. I have to use a different keyword. In this case, the keyword that I'm going to use is having, which is also going to make a filter, okay? But having is actually you actually use having after you have execute a group by. So having match count, right, greater or equal than 3,000. So the idea here works exactly as where, but because I make the filter after grouping, then I have to use having. That's the reason.
Amanda,
Yeah.
can you explain it again, please?
Okay, they having, okay. The question here is saying how many matches were played on a per country basis. So this here refers to the first query that we just ran, the previous query actually. And I can see here in the output that I have some cases that actually were played less than 3,000 matches. But I want to ignore, I don't want to see this output here, okay? So I need to filter to put a condition saying, okay, just show me the cases where match count has the number higher than 3,000. So what I'm going to do is to do a filter. So we were seeing here that the filter, the keyword for filter is where, but we only have used where without using the group by. So since I have to group by the country's ID before making the filter, because of that, I have to use the having keyword to make the filter, not the where anymore. Because the order of these SQL commands, they actually matter, okay? So in this case, I'm going to do the filter according to the match count using the keyword having after making the group by. So here I have to do match count greater or equal than 3,000. And then when I run this query, whoops. Oh no, yeah, it doesn't belong to M, yeah. Did you get the idea, Agatha?
Yes, if we need to filter after the group by, we use having.
Yeah.
If we use where, in which case? Because
we
now
use
I'm a
where
little bit confused.
before, if we are going to group by, okay, we have to execute a query where at some point we are going to do the group by. And if before the group by we need to apply a filter, then I use the where.
Okay, okay. Now I got it. Thank you.
You're welcome. So, other query. How many matches were won by the home team, won by the away team, and finish with a draw? So it's a lot of conditions here that we have to consider. So let's come back here to our table match. So select everything from match. So as you can see now, we are going into a direction that our queries are getting longer now, are getting actually are being composed by more rows, okay? So let's take a look here, match. So we wanna answer how many matches were won by the home team. So let's take a look here. We have the information here, home team goal, away team goal. So these are the two columns that actually provide us the information of who won the match, right? So in this case, we want to actually receive the information of how many occurrences. So we are going to use the count, okay? So the output that we want to see is the count. And since I'm going to use this output, this count, the count of occurrences along my query, I'm going to use an alias just like in the other case. So I'm going to consider here the alias outcome count. Okay. So if I run this, I'm just going to have how many occurrences that actually, how many rows that belong to the table match. So in this case, I need to separate here from match, okay? Because I want to see, for example, what I'm trying to explain here. Let me see if I can draw. I think it's easier to understand the idea. To the table match. So in this case, I need to separate here from match, okay? Because I want to see, for example, what I'm trying to explain here. Let me see if I can draw. I think it's easier to understand the idea. So what I want to see as output, I want to see, for example, here is the number of occurrences. So for example, 200, I will have here 100 and 100 again, for example. So this is the output I want to see. So I want to see 3 outputs, right? So the first one is going to be related to the information about home win, right? The second count of occurrences is going to be related to the draw. And the last case, I want to relate it to the away win. So I want to see 2 types of output, the occurrences and the information about how the matches ended, okay? And all of this information I will extract from my table match. So to do this, I need to make a conditional in SQL because it's not only 2 cases here, so it's not only a unique case. I cannot just make a filter. If I make a filter using where, I will be able to only consider only 1 case. But I want to consider here 3 possible situations. So in this case, I will have to use case. Exactly, case is the name. So one of the outputs will be the count. And the second output will be the case. Okay. So every time I make a case, I have to start the case and then I will end the case. So this end was written in automatic way. So when my match is going to be, let me put the alias M, okay? When M home team go greater than M away team go. When this is true, then I want to see the output home win. When away is written wrong. Now I'm going to write the condition of the draw. I don't need to actually consider these steps, okay, this space, but I like to add this space because of understanding. I think it's easier when we read this query considering these white spaces, okay? Then this is the draw. Now it's just missing the last possible condition. In this case, I don't need to write the condition, I just can write else. Otherwise, just write away win. And then I'm going to create an alias here for this scenario, okay? Because of that, I'm going to put as outcome. So this is the output. So I just, let me just put this here. So what I'm just writing is just the output that I want to see. I want to see 2 columns as my output of this query. The first column is going to be related to the occurrences, right? And the second column is going to be related to this text, home win, draw, and away win. So in the yellow column here, I reproduce using this query. And the green column, I reproduce using this query. So all of both queries will come from match. But to do the count, I need to do actually the group by, right? So I want to count all the occurrences that receive the home win. So I need to do group by who? Group by the outcome. So let's run that. It's not way, it's away. Sorry guys, I just wrote wrong. See? So this is the output. So other thing that I can do, I can also sort the outcome count, right, in descending order, for example. So I can also put here the order by outcome count in descending order. So as you can see here, here's the output that I just illustrated here. So guys, did you understand? So silent.
I
think.
seen
Oh yeah. Okay, because I wasn't seeing the WebEx. Okay, good. So let's just come back here to the slides then. So now we are just going to review our first one of our first queries when we want to retrieve the matches, for example, from France, that we just identify the ID from France, consulting the column, the table country. But now we are going to do in a different way. We are going to execute a query considering more than one table. Okay, so we are going to join tables. So
Amanda,
let's read. Yeah.
Excuse me, just for you to know, I think we still have 10 minutes, isn't it?
Oh yeah. Thank you, Carla. I'm looking here. We are just going to do just this case, and then we are going to stop. Okay. And so let's take a look here. Retrieve leaks with their respective country. So let's do something. Let's just print leak. So select everything from leak as L. In leak, I can see that I have here the foreign country, the foreign key country ID that connects this table to the table country. So the foreign key is going to be the way how we can join both tables, okay? So it's just saying with private leagues. So let's do something here. Where select, I want to see the name of the league and also the name of the country. But the column name of the country, the column name here belongs to C, which is the alias I'm going to use for the table country, which is not here yet. So how I add the second table? I have to use the keyword join. So join country as C. And how I join both tables? I join them through the foreign key. So L country ID equal to C ID. So this is how I use the foreign key to connect both tables. See? Now I can see here the column name from country and the column name from league. So these correspond to the names of the leagues, and these correspond to the names of the countries. Everybody understood? So guys, during the time, we don't have much more time. So I'm going to ask Carla to send to all of you from HRW these slides. All of them have the answer here, and it's just one missing query. So I'm just going to read this for you. How many matches were played on each league with their respective country? So the way we are answering here is not any other new keyword. So I'm not going to just solve it for you. I want you to try it before taking a look at the spoiler. And if you don't understand, you can write me in the first page here. You can see my email. And as I said, when we are using having and where, there's a difference when we execute these actions, okay? So the order of SQL statements matters. So here are the order of them that we must respect. And if you really enjoy this lecture, if you, I think SQL actually is really intuitive. It's not hard to learn, but it just needs something, you just need to practice, okay? And so here are some courses that I found, and I consider them really like good courses, and all of them are free. So if you want to dig more deeper on SQL, I recommend these courses here. So I just put them here in the slides for you.